this morning's Family First, if you've ever owned and loved a pet, you know how hard it can be when it's time to say goodbye. We don't want to think about it, but it is so important to understand the options and to prepare not only your family, but your pet. Dr. Christy Arnquist is an in-home service for animals provider called Homeward Bound. Thank you so much, Dr. Arnquist, for visiting with us this morning.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
You know, I really wanted to bring you in because I've seen so many posts recently on Facebook, people having to put their dogs down. And I remember one woman had asked, do you know of a good vet? And, you know, I think it's better to prepare for it long before it happens because you're already in a state of crisis when you know you're going to have to put your pet down and say goodbye. So what are some of the advantages to using an in-home care service that you provide?
Well, Christine, people who are looking for euthanasia to be performed in the home are typically looking for an option that's more peaceful and comfortable for everybody involved. The pets are in their home where they're most safe and secure, usually more safe and secure than they feel when they're coming to the doc's office.
Yeah, because I know, at least for my pets, they never liked being there at the doctor's office.
So, and in that sense, they're surrounded also by the people who love them the most.
And I wanted to mention, when do we know it's okay to involve our children in this process? And when should we let them say their goodbyes and then remove themselves? What's the call?
I find that that's a decision that's usually the parents kind of make amongst themselves. Some parents really want their children to have a broad view and an educated view of what, of the death process, and others want their children to be protected from that. So, and some of them often give some children the choice. Some children may prefer to be present, and some may not want to see it. So I think it's more of an individual decision that the families make.
So what is the process when you do go to a home?
Initially, my goal is to involve the family as much as possible and allow them to be make some choices in the process itself. Things like where it's going to happen and who might be present, and timing. But once they decide that they're ready, the process begins when I give an injection under the skin of a sedation. And the sedative usually takes about, I'd say, about 10 to 20 minutes in the average animal to take full effect. And once the sedation is in full effect, the animals are really peaceful. They're sleeping. A lot of dogs will just be snoring. They're not really aware of much going on, and they're not in pain at all.
Very good. I'm so glad to hear about that. And then the process continues with another injection. And, you know, we don't want to get too graphic, but it's really not much. I mean, I've been through it with my pets, too. There's just another one and the heart stops, correct?
Correct. When the family tells me they're ready, I'll place an intravenous catheter. It's a simple process. And again, they'll tell me when they're ready, and I'll give the final injection. And then that process is usually a couple of minutes.
And it's not gasping, it's nothing dramatic, it really is not.
Typically, it's a really peaceful, just sleeping. Process. So.
Well, thank you so much. And I know this is probably a very difficult subject because even just talking to you, it makes me go back to the decisions I had to make. And it's very difficult. And I wish I had thought about it ahead of time because it was just so traumatic when it becomes a last minute. Sometimes there's an accident where your pet needs to be put down that day. But if you do have some preparation, it's nice to know that there are people there who will come to your home and help you through the process. Dr. Arnquist, thank you so much. For more information on Homeward Bound, please go to our web channel, NBC15.com, and click on News Links.